Okay, yesterday was an interesting game, guys. Interesting game. We were completely lackluster. We were devoid of any finishing. Let me just put up the skill shots. When you seen Lacazette through, honestly, guys, I thought it was a goal. And I think he even thought it was a goal. He started celebrating. But then the moment he realized he missed, it was, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Right? And then we went on to concede a silly goal, which was a plethora of errors. If you guys remember, Cedric actually had the ball in the left back position, far from the touchline. I don't know how he even got close to getting the ball, and I don't know how the ball ended up as a corner, but somehow it ended up as a corner, and it subsequently led to this whole debacle. And to me, it's devastating. It's absolutely a disaster. And you know what? The tie's not over, but Jess, you said it. Expect the unexpected. I'm going to take it over to you. Let the people know where you're from. And you know what? Just before I get started, guys, don't forget to subscribe to EGTV. Check out Jess's channel also. She knows Arsenal. She knows Arsenal. Yeah. I don't know why I said .com for some second. I thought you were a website. And then Gunner Express has the Gunner Express also. But yeah, I'll throw it over to you. What's your quick reaction to the game?
Just all these thoughts, we overthought it. It should have been simpler. Then you start having hindsight about the lineup. Was it right? Did we do the right things? Why were we so dead? Like, I always ask myself, like, why do we have these slow starts? Why does it take us 30 to 40 minutes to get interested in the game? So I just think this game was kind of like a culmination of everything that we've been complaining about Arsenal from the beginning of the season. And it just had so much like shades of the Olympiacos game in it, like when we got knocked out. So it was like traumatizing almost in a way, almost like, I don't know. It just felt like the end of something. It's horrible, but ultimately we're still in the tie, but I think we need to gain some confidence, in the weekend against Sheffield. And I think we need to lean more into the youth moving forward, because senior players are really letting us down right now. But those are my just random thoughts, really.
Yeah, no, the senior players have been letting us down. And you know what? 90% of the issues that we've had this season has been from the senior players. Even players that we've signed that we thought were highly touted and Gabriel have underperformed at times. And you know what? I've even heard people love to say the word fraud. They throw the word fraud out every single day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's just hilarious. Yo, big up to the Arsenal Lounge in the chat. Big up to you, Arsenal Lounge. I seen they did a nice video earlier with Fabrizio Romano. Go check that out. We got
cut out again.
We can't hear you. Here you go. I'll just give my thoughts on the game yesterday. Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, what can you say? The whole point of that game was to win, to obviously try and end the fixture as soon as possible, and we failed to do that. So, and that away goal, I think a lot of fans are kind of underestimating the away goal. Like, that away goal means so much, man, and it's going to be difficult to try and come back from that. But
yeah,
got to do it.
Okay, so you guys can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so getting back to what we were saying, you said your thoughts, of course, Gunner Express. We're going to get into the player ratings, and before we get any further into the player ratings, we're going to start from the goalkeeper. We're going to move our way down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say my player rating, and then Jess, you're going to say yours. Gunner Express, you're going to say yours. We're going to go to the comment section, and then we're going to decide on one player rating, and we're going to move it all the way down until we're done with the player ratings. So first things first, we're going to have to start with Bernd Leno, right? Mm-hmm. And I know Bernd Leno has not been devoid of criticism this season, but I felt like it was tough to criticize him for that goal. It was a yard out, We didn't lose because of Bernd Leno. People thought Bernd Leno was the reason why we lost. I think you need to take a look at yourself, because we lost because we didn't finish our dinner. We had 3 to 4 players who did not take their chances. Lacazette missed chances. Aubameyang missed chances. Saka missed chances. To scapegoat Leno for his performance, to me, is poor. And when I'm seeing ratings like 4, 3, Leno was not that kind of performance. I'm not giving him less than a 6. Leno, even though we drew 1-1, he was crucial in keeping it. We could have conceded 3 goals if it wasn't for Leno. I know goalkeepers are supposed to stop shots, but I'm giving him a 6. What are you saying, Gooner Express? Is that too high, too low?
I gave him a 3. Not a great performance, I don't think. He did make 1 or 2 good saves at the end, but throughout the game, I thought that if Slavia Prague's attempts were a bit more accurate, he'd have conceded more goals. His positioning for a few of the shots were poor. His decision-making, I thought, was also poor. He didn't even try to kick the ball long once. And that goal, he should have done better on it. I'm sorry, it's very close, the header, but he's dived low. You need to try and take up as much space as you can in your goal in that situation. And again, it's that decision making. It's deciding to dive low, and I don't know what he's doing. He just gets worse every week. So I give him a 3. It was a poor performance, and he's just lucky that Slavia Prague weren't more accurate in their shooting.
Okay, Chess.
Yeah, I can't give him like a 6. I think I would give him a 5. I don't think that the goal was like just only his fault. It wasn't like a goalkeeper error per se, but I just think ever since he's been outed, kind of, exposed as a goalkeeper that's not very good with his feet, he's pretty much stopped our ability to play out of the back consistently and successfully. It all starts with him, and we just have looked so shaky since, what was it, probably the Burnley game, where we were playing out of the back and got caught. So it's just a ripple effect. You could just tell he's not confident. He's a good shot stopper, but at this point, I think we need a little bit more. His distribution leaves a lot to be desired. He just looks really shaky back there. So a 5, it wasn't necessarily his fault, but he wasn't great either.
Okay, so since Jess did 5, Gunnar Express, you did 3, I did 6. Can we agree on 5 or 4? What are you guys saying? 5 is decent. Gunnar Express, you willing to go up?
I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna have to go up because you two said a bit higher, but I can't agree with an average performance at 5 because I don't think it was average. I don't think many players were average. I'm not being just harsh to Leno. Obviously we'll see what the other players get, but he was less than average, I think. So I give him a 4, I guess, is what we're going to give him.
Okay. So we're contemplating between a 4 and 5. I'm just going to leave it at 4 and 5, right? I'm going to say, let's just give him a 4.5 just to be fair, and then move on to Bellerin. I'm going to start with you, Gunnar Express. What do you think about Bellerin's performance?
I mean, yesterday I was quite annoyed with him. Not that I thought he had a poor performance, but I gave him quite a low rating. I gave him a 3, I think it was. But I'm going to give him a 4. I'll bump him up 1 because he wasn't as bad as I thought. But again, below average. But I thought with Bellerin, it was more the fact that Holding wasn't defending properly. He kept going too far forward, leaving the back line exposed. But there was moments with Bellerin where he just did a stupidness. There was a chance when Prague, there was 2 players running, and Bellerin just left one of them completely open, and he had to recover really quickly, and he didn't recover well. It went through his legs still, so it was poor from him there. And the one other thing that I say is he was the captain. Whether he deserves to be captain or not, that's a different debate. You're the captain. You need to put something into these players to try and win the game. And obviously, there was no energy. Like Kesh said, there was no energy. So I look at the captain when we have no energy. So 4.
Okay. Jess, do you echo the same thoughts, or are you going a little bit higher?
I think we were just so bad that it's like some people, their mistakes shined more than others. And for me, it wasn't that Bellerin had a good performance. It's just he was less bad than some of the other players, to be honest, So
better than most.
He's so, it's just so forgettable, but I don't even want to put good in Bellerin, or better or anything, because it wasn't good at all. It was just not as bad as other people, but still bad, if that makes sense. So no energy, wasn't really going forward, coming out of his pocket early, leaving us exposed and behind. Didn't really add anything going forward. His crossing is still not up to the standard that it should be. I'm gonna give him a 4.
Okay, you know what? I think this is a clean sheet with 4s. I'm gonna give him a 4 also. But you know what? I feel like if Kieran Tierney gave the same performance as Bellerin, public opinion would be we'd bump him up just because we like him. So I feel like Bellerin does get a little bit criticized more because of his past rap sheet. But 4s are a unanimous decision with that. Then Jess, I'll let you start with the back pairing. You can begin with Gabriel, of course.
Was really, really shaky from the very beginning with his distribution. I think that the center backs are being asked to do things that they're just not comfortable doing, and neither Holding or Gabriel are good with the ball at their feet. And it just showed, they were unable to just simple distribution was really difficult, so I think that he has issues with Cedric when Cedric plays on that side. They tend to, I don't know, there can't be a language barrier. They both speak Portuguese. So I don't know why they can't get it together, but it just seems like when they play together, it just doesn't work, So I think Gabriel was poor. And I hate to say that because I love Gabriel, one of my favorite players, but I think he's I probably give him a 3. I just think he was really, really poor, going forwards and going back, so.
Yeah.
Give him a 3.
Gunnar Express?
Yeah, 3, not good enough. The thing with Gabriel is he's a fan favourite. He's not one of my fan favourites because he's not good enough, not yet. He can be good enough. He definitely is a prospect for the future. But again, our fan base act like he's the best centre-back in the league when he isn't. He's not ready to be one of the best yet. And it's shown. He has one great period at the start of his career at Arsenal, and then he starts to peter off like many players, like Partey, like Pepe, like all these different players that had so much hype and had ability. These players have ability, but they're not showing it at Arsenal, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, we don't know the reason yet, but yeah, not good enough.
Can you guys still hear me?
Defensively, yeah, we can still hear you. Defensively was poor. His passing was shocking. I don't even know what he was trying to do with his passing, but yeah, not good enough. So I give him a 3. And I've no idea where Gal's gone, but he should be back shortly.
Yeah, we could just continue, I guess.
Yeah.
So you give him a 3, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess he's coming back.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So you guys said clean sheet 3, but
3,
just
yeah.
before we go on to Holding, did you guys feel like, can you pinpoint the specific moment that said to yourself, this was a bad performance?
For Gabriel?
From who?
Yeah, what was the exact moment? Because
when he got ran over, that one time it was like he went in for some sort of tackle on one of the Prague players. They just shrugged him off and they started running towards the goal. He saved it at the end, came back and did a tackle, but you could just tell Gabriel was not confident, and I don't know where the confidence is gone. But just a couple games ago against Harry Kane, you're the best thing in the world, and then you drop a performance like this. It's just inconsistent, no confidence. And, I don't know if we rate Arteta on this particular show, but just in general, I think this team is being asked to do things that are outside of their capabilities, and it's leaving them with no confidence. And just let Gabriel do what he does best. Don't ask him to distribute the ball in ways that he cannot do, because it's stressing these players out and making them play like crap. That's my hypothesis. But when he got ran over and the guy just kind of shrugged him off and he was like basically on his knees trying to run back to the goal, I was like, wow, Gabriel's really struggling today.
Okay. I think he was struggling because of the passing ability of Holding put him under more pressure than he needs to be. And if we're going to rate any of the two a lower rating, it would have to be Holding. But since we set the bar so low for a 3, do you think a 2 is fair for Rob Holding? Because that's where I was leaning towards. I'm going to start with you, Gunnar Express.
What did I say before the game? Don't play Holding. And I was told we can't play two left-footed centre-backs. It's what you get when you play Rob Holding, unfortunately. He ain't good enough for Arsenal. And I've said this pretty much since he's been here. He's never been good. He's had a few little moments, but just like Lacazette, it's purple patches. It's 6-7 games of good football, and then he peters off again. And the fact that we're just allowing this to happen and we want him to play, and some fans even argue that he's one of the best centre-backs at the club, like, what a joke. He's not good enough. It's the sad truth, but it's the reality. He is not good enough to play for Arsenal. And yesterday proved it again. I actually thought defensively he was better than Gabriel. But he left the whole defence exposed way too many times going forward. And I don't know whether that was because Arteta was telling him to do that or whether it was frustration because we weren't going forward enough. But he left Bellerin exposed. He left Gabriel exposed. He even left Partey exposed because he was filling in at Partey's position. So I don't know what he was trying to do. And again, the long balls were shocking. If you actually if the long balls were good, you wouldn't complain, but they were awful. So yeah, 3-2, whichever, just not good enough overall.
And just before you go, I'm going to shout out Gio in the chat. Big up to Gio, another Californian. He says, shout out to my fellow Californian Jess. Please don't, what? Also, please donate. We need to get Iga a new laptop or computer so he can continue to do fire content. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Now, Jess, what are you going to say?
Yeah.
Holding.
This just kind of shows where we are. Holding is a low block defender that's very inconsistent and is not good enough for Arsenal. If we want to be a possession-based team that plays in the other team's half, you can't have Rob Holding because he doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the agility. He doesn't have the passing range. He doesn't have anything that we need in order to play the way that we want to play in the future, if that's the way Arteta wants to play. So to give him a new contract and have somebody like Saliba out on loan at Nice, who's the perfect profile for what we want to do, is becoming more and more frustrating as Holding has these types of performances. So I would give Holding a 2 just for the simple fact that he to me was such a big issue. Why are you dribbling forward? What are you doing? If that's what Arteta was telling Gabriel and Holding to do, dribble out of the back and do things that are not within their skill set, then we can question Arteta as well. But Holding was horrendous yesterday.
Okay. People in the chat, do you guys agree with us? Holding gets a 2 out of 10. I know if Harry was here, he would not be having it. But let me know, guys.
And well, Harry's not here,
if you're watching this, let us know. I'm going to move on to Cedric. And who did I start with last time? Did I start with you, Gunnar Express?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with Jess this time. But before we go into Cedric, I just want to say one thing. Cedric made 2 crucial errors, right? You could say he is one of the main reasons why we drew this game. I'm not saying he is the main reason. He is one of the 5 reasons. I could name Lacazette, I can name Aubameyang, I can name Saka, I can name Leno, and I can name Cedric. But to me, Cedric, what he did at the end of the game just lacks football intelligence. And you know what? This is a guy who plays for Portugal, played for Southampton. Oh my God, where's the intelligence when it comes to just booting it long? And I can't believe that Arteta would tell a player, kick the ball out of bounds for a corner if you can't find a pass. That's ridiculous. I can't think that I just can't believe it. Jess, what do you think?
Well, I mean, he plays for Portugal. He's played for these other teams. That type of stuff is not accepted at those types of clubs. I mean, even just if you just talk about Portugal in general, do you think Cristiano Ronaldo would ever allow the Portuguese FA to give Cedric an invitation back if he would play like that for them? No, it's acceptable at Arsenal to be mediocre and to capitulate at the end of games. There's no accountability or responsibility. So I just had to say that part. This goes back to January transfer window, feeling like it wasn't a priority or feeling like we could get through this season with an injury-prone Kieran Tierney without another left back. So this goes back to management and Arteta and Edu again, and poor squad building. Cedric's being asked to do something again that's outside of his skill set. He can probably do it for one game here, one game there, but we're about to ask him to do that for the extent of Tierney's injury. 3 to 4 weeks. Do you really think he's going to make it? So he was poor and we expect better, but at Arsenal, we don't require better. So of course he capitulated. And he was at fault for a lot of what happened at the end of the game. But again, why are we relying on Cedric to be our left back when he's right-footed? It's just crazy to me. So 2, he gets a 2. He was horrible. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Gunnar Express, I think we can just skip this one because I know you're probably going to give him a 0.
Well, I'm not even going to rate him because, I mean, what can you say? Just awful. But you have to feel, in a sense, sorry because he wasn't brought in to be a left back. Let's not forget that. He was brought in to be a backup right back to Bellerin, which shocks me. But the question that you asked, Gal, was how can Arteta be at fault for Cedric playing the ball out? Well, he can be, because it's happened in the past. El Neni did it not long ago. I can't remember who it was against. It was in the Europa League as well. But he just passed the ball out for a throw-in, and they went and scored from it. Look at Smith Rowe when he against Benfica, when he passed the ball out
Look
for a
at
corner,
how we got
then we got a
kicked out
penalty.
at Olympiacos as well
Exactly.
last season. That's how we got kicked out. Same
And this is what I'm
thing.
saying. And Arteta has seen this before, and he hasn't stopped it. He hasn't changed it. He hasn't tried to stop it. So I can blame him, because it's happened so many times, and it's still happening. So he's obviously not seeing it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to move on to Thomas Partey now.
Oh God.
Honestly, Thomas Partey, I felt like there was one moment that said to me, "This guy's not. He's not up to the pace today." When he had a simple pass, he could have made to Bellerin, who was overlapping Saka. Instead, he takes a shot which was way wide. I felt like that was the moment where I said to myself, "He's just not sharp. Like, he's making decisions. He's not thinking. He really, 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 really wants a goal, but it's like, I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Like, I think to say Thomas Partey has been average and even give him a 5 is ridiculous. I'm gonna probably give him a 4. I'll start with
He's getting a 2. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Worst performance in an Arsenal shirt. I mean, look, let's be honest. When you're being brought off for Mohamed El Horizontal, there's obviously an issue, because he should not be coming on for Thomas Partey. The levels in those two players is massive. But again, I question what is going on with the coaching staff. He was one of the best defensive midfielders in world football. Not the best, but one of the best when he was at Atletico Madrid. And I understand that he wasn't going to be as good, because obviously he had Saul as a partner, and you know the levels in that midfield was massive. But he can't be this bad. There's no way he's this bad just because of a midfield partner. So there's something else going on there. He isn't up to the pace. He's not playing well, and you might have to get dropped, because if you're not playing well, you can't keep playing, because you're just hindering the team at the end of the day. And again, Partey is a fan favourite, because obviously he was brought in late and it was a big signing. It wasn't, though. It wasn't enough. That transfer window still wasn't good enough. And Partey was supposed to overshadow how poor that window is. But what he's actually done is show how poor it was, because of how poor he's been. So it's not been good enough. But the performance overall, his passing is absolutely atrocious right now. He can't even pass a simple 5-yard pass. It's shocking. And the thing is, he actually started to make those runs forward and carry the ball forward. But then he proceeded to dead the attack by giving the ball away. So I have no idea what's going on with him. But yeah, not good enough too. Shocking.
Jess?
This is something that was creeping in the Liverpool game. You know, everybody said we just got played off of the park, but that lack of confidence was already creeping in. Then you can see that his passing was starting to go wayward. And I'm the biggest Thomas Partey fan. As soon as he played bad, people were battering me online. I get it. I will always defend him. I can't defend him in this game. He was the worst player on the pitch by a country mile. And that hurts me to say. But I still have to go back and look at why do we have these players coming in that clearly have some sort of ability? They're good. You know, I know it's like every single player that has hype around them that comes to Arsenal and is not as good. It can't just be that we're unlucky. There's something fundamentally wrong with the environment at Arsenal that doesn't allow players that are good to play well. His individual performance was just poor. But I cannot believe that Thomas Partey became a crap player and was crap his entire career. And now we're just seeing it. That's not how it goes. With Simeone, you play the same system. First of all, with Simeone, it's not acceptable to be crap. Again, certain environments, it's not okay to be that way. You know, you play with better players that are more, you know, concentrating, you know, they're more confident and things like that. And I just think that the environment at Arsenal is just not conducive to success. There's something fundamentally wrong. So he was crap. I'm giving him a 1. But yeah, there's something wrong there, you know, for sure.
Okay. So we have to decide between 3 or 2. So 2?
Yeah, 2. Lowest rating you can give him.
Okay. Granit Xhaka, I'm just going to say it. Granit Xhaka was poor, but at the end of the game, when needed the most, he was one of the people able to make that ball out to Aubameyang, which was necessary, but he didn't do it in the first half. He could have done it in the first half. We could have created more chances. So overall, another poor performance. I have to give him. I'm just generous, but I'm gonna give him a 4 also.
He's basically on the Bellerin level, right? He just was not as egregious as Thomas Partey and Holding and maybe some other players, but he wasn't good. He stormed off of the pitch at the end of the game because he was upset about whatever. You're part of the leadership group, buddy.
I read what he was upset about. He was
I'm happy that he did
actual
that.
Defenders
I'm
for
happy he did
Cedric, and especially he was even upset at Pepe for his part in the goal that was conceded. Also, Gabriel, he shouted at all 4 of them.
I'm happy he did that. It's about time our players
the real leader in the dressing room.
No, but it's about time our players man up and grow a set of balls. Like the fact that Aubameyang isn't angry, and I know he's not angry. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Lacazette doesn't care. None of these players care. And the fact that Granit Xhaka is the one that has to go in there and chew these players out because of how shit they were, I'm happy he did that. Because, again, it's about time we just grow a set of bollocks and just start actually putting pressure on these players.
So what are you giving him then?
Playing with a bit. I actually thought he was the best player in the starting 11, which is saying something because he wasn't the best player we've ever had, obviously. But I thought his passing was better than Partey's. It still wasn't great. Obviously, he had an involvement in the goal, which definitely helps. But I thought the main thing for me was he wanted to win. He was the only player, except from the substitutes, who actually wanted to win that game because he kept stepping up for free kicks. He kept trying to, get the players forward, but they weren't listening. And where I said that Bellerin's job as a captain is to bring energy, Xhaka was the only one, in my opinion, trying to give that energy, but he couldn't do it by himself because he's not that kind of player. But he did his job. Might not have done it great, but you can't. I just give him a 5. I don't think he was great, but for Xhaka, it was a decent performance.
Jess, what did you give him again?
I was gonna give him a 4. No, I don't think he was bad. I just don't think. Maybe I need to rewatch it and see. That aspect of what he was doing, but it's just a shame because I think Granit wants to be that captain type player, but he doesn't have the ability, I guess to a certain extent. So he's kind of mediocre in terms of what he can do on the field, but he has the captain thing going. So it's just unfortunate, but he was better than Thomas, way better than Thomas, and that hurts me to say. So 4.
Okay, so guys, so far what we've done is Leno gets a 4.5, Bellerin has a 4, Gabriel has a 4, 2 for Holding, 0 for Cedric, 2 for Partey, and a 4 for Granit Xhaka. And I need you guys to do me a favor, smash a like in the video if you guys are watching right now. Do me a favor, it's absolutely free. Continue by also putting in your ratings for the next player. The next player we're going to be talking about is Emil Smith-Rowe, and I'm going to start with you, Jess.
Whew, okay, so this is where I'm going to start to be a little bit nicer because I just think he was brought in. You could kind of tell that he probably wasn't all the way match fit, maybe not completely healed. Arteta likes to play players that are not completely fit, when he's in a bad situation. So, for me, Smith-Rowe was okay, but pretty non-existent and didn't really have the ability to really put a stamp on the game the way that Odegaard does sometimes. But that's not to say that he wasn't trying. I think the more of the senior players that are in the game, the worse the younger players play. They really only play well together because they're better quality. So just having Willian breathing the same air as Smith-Rowe, I think was messing him up, to be honest. So I'm going to give Smith-Rowe a 4. The highest I'm going to go today is a 4. So if you get a 4, that means that you are all right, so.
Wow. I didn't know you were so harsh with your ratings. I would have guys out here giving people.
He wasn't. I can't give him points for just not being as bad as other people because he didn't impose himself on the game.
No, it's not that it's harsh. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
But of course, what I mean is, I don't know. Maybe I was just expecting. I don't know. I found a lot of us North American fans are more forgiving or more patient, and I thought
I'm brutal.
And I thought you were one of the homers. But you're from LA, so you're definitely not a homer because you're used to winning with the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm brutal. I mean, I've started watching Arsenal when Vieira and Tony Adams and these types of players were here. So that's what I remember. I don't remember this fourth place is good enough, and it's okay to be soft and all that kind of stuff. So I don't get it. Smith Rowe is a great young player. He's gonna get it, but the more of the older players, senior players that are on the field, the worse that those young players play. And I just think they mess up the groove. So he was not great, but I don't think it was so much to do with Smith Rowe. It was more about the environment and the situation. So
okay, so we got bigger fish to fry, guys, when it comes down to it. But Smith Rowe, are we agreeing 4s? Because we got some people saying 3, some people saying 4. Smith Rowe was poor, but he gets a 4. One guy said Sonogo over Messi, and the next guy replied Cap. So
okay,
so we got some people talking about some random stuff in the chat.
Yeah, man, you go get Sonogo, man. We'll take Messi.
I agree with the 4, but I personally feel like it would be justified also to give him a 5.
I mean, you're giving him a 5 because you don't think it was necessarily because of him, because he didn't really have he wasn't really on the ball that much. I think it was more the situation versus Smith Rowe getting the ball and doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? But still, you have to impose yourself on the game, and he was kind of non-existent. So 4 is as good as I can do for him.
Yeah, really. 4 is probably
okay. So I've been overruled, guys. It's a 4. Next, Willian. He hit the bar. He was active, but he did not press at all. When you have Willian in the team, he's not pressing. His movement off ball was horrendous. I felt like he never actually offered any inside forward presence, and he was never really on the touchline. So I don't understand what his role was. I feel like Willian was poor, extremely poor. I'm not going to give him as low as a Hector Bellerin or Holding or anything like that. Actually, we gave Bellerin a 4, so that's pretty good. I'm leaning towards giving him a 3 or a 4. What are you guys saying?
I mean, in my player ratings, I gave him a 3, and I think I was way too nice. 0, shocking. What did he do? what did he do? Like, this is the thing. I am harsh, I guess you could say, in quotation marks, in a sense that if a player doesn't do anything, someone else might give them a 2 or a 3. For me, if you don't do anything, you get a 0 because you've done nothing to warrant a rating. But what did he actually do? Like, I don't think it was just down. I don't think it was just down to Will. No, that free kick was just a fluke, though. Like, he hasn't scored yet. I don't care. Like, if he hits the bar, great. He should have scored. It's a miss. But
okay, and people, don't forget to like the video while you're here.
I don't think it was just him.
Agree.
Real quick,
between the 4 and the 0. What do you?
Real quick. I don't think it was just him. I don't think it was just his fault. I think Cedric should have backed him up. But I'll say this. Please, you just said, right, that you don't know what he was trying, like what his role was. Why is Martinelli not playing then?
Okay, we're gonna get to that, but the actual solution is Joe on Twitter said Martinelli's not playing because Arteta hates him. So we're listening to Joe on Twitter. That's what he said. But if you actually want to see what really is going on, Martinelli's been having issues. He's been unfit majority of the season. He's come back into the team. He's probably gonna get a run of games now. So let's just wait and see. Arteta has
sick of waiting.
We don't have.
I'm sick of waiting.
We're going to talk about Martinelli. He did come on as a sub. So, Jess, in order to move on quicker,
Willian gets a 3.
Rating? What?
Willian gets a 3.
Okay. Willian gets a 3. And I'm willing to digress and give him a 3.
Give him a 3, yeah. Give him a 3.
Yeah, because I think that's more adequate.
He shouldn't have been on the pitch, but he got a 3.
No, I get it. I get the logic. The logic is...
I'm trying to keep. I just want to make sure I get my narrative out there, though. Like, he shouldn't have been out there, but 3.
He shouldn't be at Arsenal.
The like for like replacements make sense, though, don't they?
But he's not. He's a like for life replacement because he doesn't do anything. That's why Aubameyang doesn't do anything. So you put Willian in to do nothing either. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a like to like replacement, yes, but it doesn't help the team at all because both players aren't doing anything. So
it offered us something in the Benfica game. So basically, I feel like he's going based off recent performances. Now, the next name I'm going to go, should we go Saka first? And then we'll save Lacazette for later?
Yeah,
okay, so Saka. Saka missed a clear chance that was obviously ruled offside wrongfully. It would have been a goal if he scored. He shot it wide. He has to score that. When he missed that, I literally walked out of my bedroom. I walked out of my living room. I literally walked into my bedroom and I'm punching myself in the pillow, punching my pillow. Like that's what happened. This guy, I don't know what he's thinking, but people are starting to compare him to Raheem Sterling. I don't want to have that. I don't want people comparing him to Raheem Sterling. No. Saka was the only person showing movement, only person performing well in the first half. In the second half, you could tell that he was still getting back from his injury and he wasn't 100% fit. If we're going to give high ratings to anybody, it's going to be Saka. And the performance that he had overall deserves more than an average performance. I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah, Saka gets a 4. I think nobody for me is going to get a better score just because they weren't as bad as somebody else. I think Saka was doing his normal. He also should not have probably played. He wasn't fit. I get that, but I take all of that into consideration. He was okay, but he was poor on the ball as well. Like some of his passes were wayward. He was on the ball, would get it nicked off of him. He had decent movement, but he was literally the only person moving. So, I mean, the highest I'll go, maybe I'll just, because now I feel bad a little bit, of 4.5. Like, he wasn't great. Nobody was good. Nobody was, and he really should have buried the chance, regardless if it was offside or not. He should have buried that chance. And I tweeted during the game that, missed chances are also individual errors. We only count the ones that are back by our goal where we give up goals, but sometimes missing big chances that can change the game are individual errors for me as well. And I love Saka, but he needs to start finishing those chances, especially if he thinks he's going to be a forward for England. That's going to be the difference between him becoming world-class or not, so 4.5.
Okay. I see someone in the chat, Yankee Gooner. It's just going to be a closed panel because Jess is going to have to go by 5 and I have to go do some stuff at 5 also. So we're going to just have us 3. Sorry, you can't come on today, but you can come on next time. And tomorrow when I'm doing the Sheffield United preview, you can come on that if you like also. Gooner Express. I pick 6, which now I'm starting to regret because it's looking like it's nowhere near what you guys are going to pick. But obviously, we're giving our opinions. What are you giving? From a 6 to a 4, what's your range?
Yeah, I agree with 4. The reason why I'm not going to be as overly critical with Saka's miss over the likes of Lacazette or Aubameyang is, for me, Lacazette and Aubameyang will never improve their finishing because they're already, 30, 31 apiece. They're not going to improve that clinicalness. Saka's 19. And I said it in the past that if he's going to be a first team player and we're going to act like he's a first team player, then you treat him like a first team player, no matter what his age is.
Yeah.
But he can improve that shooting is what I'm trying to say. With his young age, he can improve it. And that's what we need to see. If I don't see an improvement in his shooting, which right now I haven't, that's when I'm going to get critical of him because you need to work on that. But yeah, the miss, I mean, it would have won us a game. And that's what you've got to look at with all the misses. But he put in 2 great crosses, like world-class crosses. The first one where 3 players completely ignored it. Let's not forget that one. And the second one when Lacazette just hoofed it over the bar. And I have no idea how he managed that. It's harder to miss that and put it over the bar than it is to at least get it on target. But it proves how, poor Lacazette's been. But yeah, I agree with Jess. He definitely wasn't the worst player on the pitch, but he wasn't good. He still wasn't good. He was below average, but he wasn't bad. He had good moments, but some bad moments as well.
When people are comparing him to Raheem Sterling, they're not comparing him in a good way. They're comparing his misses to Raheem Sterling's misses.
I mean, if you're comparing him to, I know that's what they're trying to compare him to, but you're comparing him to Raheem Sterling at 19 years old. Raheem Sterling's one of the best wingers in the league, so I'll take it. I don't care if it's a negative thing or not. I'll take that.
There you go.
If he's just a little bit better than Raheem Sterling, we've got a world-class player on our hands, so I'm fine with that.
So everyone, now we're getting in the cusp of things. We're going to leave Lacazette for the end because of the whole situation that happened with him. But let's get into Pepe.
Oh, Peps.
I thought man of the match performance.
He should have been out there. That was I don't understand why he didn't start on the left-hand side anyway. Didn't you balance? Isn't Arteta all about balance? That's what I'm saying. This is a joke. You played Willian and Cedric on the same side. Both players.
Are you Arteta?
No, I'm not. I'm just
I am.
So let me just land really quick. I cannot understand for the life of me why Pepe didn't start that game. I know he doesn't trust Pepe and all this kind of stuff, but maybe you should trust him a little bit more. He plays well and he's dangerous and unpredictable. Willian is not dangerous and he's very predictable. So it's just insane to me. I mean, it wasn't like, when people score and it's like, oh, the sub was justified. No, it actually made you look dumb because he should have been out there the entire time. Speed and trickery and people getting in behind is all we needed in that game to win it. And we didn't get it until the 80th minute. Pepe, to me, is probably the only player that'll get because he was also looking dumb for that goal as well. So let's just drop it back a little bit. He'll probably get a 4.5. No, I'll give him a 5.
You're giving Pepe a 4.5.
I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5.
Yes, that's harsh.
He wasn't out there that long. I mean, what? Okay, you want me to give him a 6? Like, okay, I'll give him a 6. Like, I don't know. I don't think he scored a goal, but wasn't he kind of at fault a little bit for the goal that went in?
Yes, he was kind of at fault for the goal that was scored. It actually touched him to get on target to the other guy's header. But moving on to the first part of it, he was the person who kickstarted the attack. Him and Aubameyang and Xhaka kickstarted that attack
5.
to create that goal. What? 5?
5.
5's more fair, I think. Gunnar Express.
Yeah, I initially gave him a 6, but I've rewatched the final few minutes. Obviously, I'm not rewatching that game again. Otherwise, I'd rather watch paint dry. But he was at fault for the goal a little bit. It still doesn't excuse Leno, and obviously the poor defending for the corner. But yeah, he did have a part to play. But he scored the goal. But we need to rewatch that goal again. A better keeper would have stopped that goal. His first touch was poor, but he obviously did well to recover, and he scored, and that's what matters. And I like Pepe in terms of I would give him another season. But if he was sold, I wouldn't cry about it. But I'd give him another season. And I think some people, I know not a lot of people like to look at stats, and I'm one of them. But let's just look at a stat 1 second. He's had 18 appearances for Arsenal this season. He's got 13 goals and assists. How is that a bad season? 13 goals and assists.
People are still running their agendas from last season, man. That's
No, but it's not even just the fact that there's agendas, because I think agendas in Arsenal, there should be some agendas. The likes of Bellerin, because he's shit, so he needs to go. But Pepe, for me, isn't a great player, and I'm not trying to protect his worth or anything. He has been awful, but he hasn't been as bad as people are making out. And I get that the price obviously makes it seem worse than it is, but I think under a manager who treats him correctly, I just think he's been treated poorly. And under a manager who actually maybe rates him a bit. Today? 5. Yeah, I agree with Jess again. Like the goal was great, obviously boosted us up, but
I'm gonna trigger you guys maybe. Someone said on social media Pepe's performance was an 8 out of 10 performance in the game that we drew.
Christ.
No. His performance against West Ham was like an 8 out of 10. He was at fault for the
Oh my god.
5. Come on,
ridiculous,
let's be ridiculous. I think this is why we're so crap, is because we kind of like accept little things. Like it's not good enough. It's just not good. It's not good enough.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do this quickly. Martinelli, I thought he came on, gave us some energy. He was but realistically didn't have much time to impact the game as much as I thought he would be able to. What do you guys think? 4, 5?
5.
5 because he was running around doing.
He had that left-footed chance as well.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
Nenny?
5.
Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah, no, he had. Let's get this straight. He had enough time. Anyone saying he didn't have enough time, that's wrong, because he came on when Pepe came on. But he didn't do anything wrong. He was decent. Yeah, just 5. But he had enough time.
Okay, and then last 2 players. We're gonna do Aubameyang, then we're gonna do Lacazette. Samuel, what's up? Big up Samuel's in the house.
Ceballos, are we just giving Ceballos an NA because he wasn't on for long enough for it?
Yeah, no, Ceballos, and then he gave them all NAs.
NA.
Moving on to Aubameyang. Aubameyang came on. He missed the chance. He scored. He got an assist, which really shouldn't even count as an assist, but it does. Overall performance, I felt like it was below his average that he performed. He didn't really do anything spectacular to get that assist. He didn't really do anything spectacular to change my opinion of him after he made that miss. And Aubameyang from last year gets a chance in 2 seconds into a game after he just came on a sub. He's scoring.
Yep.
Aubameyang this year with no confidence is missing. I'm giving him a 4, man. What do you guys say?
That's fair. I would give him a
Yes,
4.
I agree.
And that's it's
Not-
like a nice 4, like because I just don't have time to be mad at Aubameyang anymore because he takes up too much of my time. So 4, I'm exhausted from Aubameyang.
He's turning into Ozil, man. Was one of the best, was if not the best player at the club, and the big money comes in and instantly just. I think he's gone to his head. Obviously, Aubameyang, we know that he's a flashy guy. Like he likes his cars in
Travis
the
Scott's in the
wraps and
building.
all this, and it's gone to his head. And I've always said it with Arsenal: the worst thing that we do as a club is give people way too many wages. And the argument is that's the only way that we sign players, because obviously we're not doing that well right now. But I'd rather get rid of Aubameyang than give him £375,000 a week. Sorry, I would. He's not worth that. Players, for me, the players that are worth that money are the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, not Aubameyang and David De Gea. They're not worth that much money. I'm sorry, it's not. That's not good enough from any club that gives a player like Aubameyang, who has no ability other than
getting on the end of
finishing,
crosses,
nearly
really.
£400,000.
Okay, Samuel.
Yeah, Gal,
Exactly.
I've had time to reflect from last night after my
You
anger.
guys hear him?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Gal, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Alright.
Yeah, we can hear you all.
I've had time to reflect since last night, and I'm looking at it now. We didn't go out. I'm sorry, there's 2 legs to this. There's not 1 leg and you're out. So I know, yes, we can be angry at the performance, but some of the reactions on the fan base have been overreactionary. If this is the second leg and we go out, then hands up. Okay, you can be as mad as you want. Or as of right now, we've still got a second leg to play. We've got a second leg to play.
So.
He's saying that we have a second leg to play and that it's not over yet.
Yeah, we know that.
Can't be too
Samuel.
reactionary.
But-
Yeah, we get that, but I think it's just like after the Liverpool situation and then this, I just think it's a little bit much for this fan base. It's almost erased all the progress that we thought that we saw after Boxing Day, and it feels like that pre-Christmas type of thing where we don't know what we're doing, we don't know what kind of team we're going to get, we don't know what kind of people he's going to have out there. We're going back to Willian, we're going back to the older players. Like it just feels like we're in the on the edge or something. Like I don't know, I get why people are upset. We do have another leg and all that kind of stuff, but are you confident we're going to get through? Like can you say that you think
50-50.
like we're going to get through? Like
the main question is, are you confident? Obviously I'm not, but is anybody here confident that first we're going to beat Villarreal and second we're going to beat either Roma, Ajax or Man United? Because I don't even think we'll get
Let's
past
not
Emery.
even get there. We'll get there when we get there. Let's just get back to today.
If we get there.
We at this point
why do you keep showing this?
we have
Oh,
to,
God.
because we're gonna talk about Lacazette, and you know what? I don't know if you guys seen it, but I think there's a TikTok meme already of him saying,
Oh, there'll be loads of stuff.
The face.
The
Keep it
face,
up.
look at the face. Oh my God. You know that fat Lacazette photo?
Yes.
He's halfway there. Yo, guys in the comment section, caption this. Tell me what you guys think the picture is.
Thinking about
The
what
best
colour he
caption
wants his
for the
new
picture.
Lamborghini, because he doesn't care. He's another player who doesn't care. I don't care. I want him
Okay.
gone.
Quick
need to find
that
our
picture.
ratings, and then we'll explain them after. I'm gonna give him simply because I felt like this draw was blood. A lot of blood is on his hands for this draw. Just like Benfica, one of the ties, a lot of blood was on Aubameyang's hands. You cannot give him anything at all. Like he was irrelevant.
Zero.
No, there was one point, Jess. He took a touch and he was deeper than our whole midfield.
Yeah,
He was playing like center back or
crap,
something.
man.
He today, okay, I watched the stream. Somebody called him a defensive midfielder. We have a defensive midfielder as our striker.
A
Oh my
defensive forward.
God.
Defensive forward. That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
call him.
No.
Yeah, man.
He specifically
Zero.
said defensive midfielder because midfielders can't shoot, right? I honestly,
Look,
Miguel, zero.
I love my players. I'm usually a positive guy. You
Zero.
have to banter at some point, and you know what?
lose a one, right?
You know
Come on.
what makes me laugh? Makes me laugh. And I'm a culprit of this. But we all remember that Timo Werner miss against for Germany, right? Karma. Because Arsenal fans were the ones mocking
I laughed
it.
hard at that too.
I laughed as well. I'm not trying to obviously slander anyone, but we laughed more than anybody at that. We were the ones that were so vocal on Twitter about it, saying, "Oh, Lacazette would never do that. Aubameyang would never do that." karma. Karma's real, man. Karma is real.
Was I the
don't
only
believe
one
it.
that wasn't confident? I knew when he was in on goal.
I
I thought he
Yeah,
was
he
going
wasn't
to
gonna
score.
score.
I started
listen,
celebrating.
I was
He
like,
wasn't gonna
oh,
score.
he's not going to score.
Bro, I'll tell you something. I don't
Cash
believe
was
in karma,
pissed,
but
bro.
I knew he was going to miss. Because why? He's done it before. Games against Huddersfield, games against Watford. He's been throwing for no one
I
around
don't
and
know
he's
what he's
missed.
saying. I can just
It
see his
was not
hands moving.
surprising. Oh,
I don't know why
give me
you can't hear
up.
me, but I can.
No, because I'm on
Hell,
my
you
phone.
got
That's
to.
why.
Exactly. So
The
it's not
phone
surprising
acts up
Lacazette missed the chance.
But yeah,
Yeah, man.
Iga on the panel. Big up to you, man. Thanks, man. Now moving on. There's some people putting Lacazette moving like Martial. Arteta has lost 17 matches. What? 21 wins. Is that true in his whole career at Arsenal, or is that I'm confused? Is that this season? Indiana's in the house saying smash a like. Yeah, people, don't forget to smash a like in the video. Okay. I'm giving him a 0. Samuel?
For Lacazette.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you give him?
This is a great lack of bunda, yeah? Lack of
Oh
bunda,
my god!
that's-
All right, come
That's a
on,
good name. Lack
come
of
on,
press,
man.
lack of anything, 0. He could have won the tie. He could have won the tie
Oh,
yesterday.
Samuel,
Brought the
why?
game up, and he just ruined it, bro.
You
Lacazette is
you speak madness. You know what you said on that on Charlotte's stream last night. It rivals that, man. Like you speak some madness sometimes, bro.
Listen,
No,
Lack
but the
of
thing
bunda.
is,
Lack of bunda. Oh my god.
oh man, the problem I made was I gassed this guy up. I gassed this guy up so many times.
Oh
I've
my
compared him to
God.
Roberto Firmino. I've
You
said,
have
you know
to
what?
learn your lesson. You have to learn your lesson. Like, don't gas any of these people up. Just
Yes,
don't, because it's always going to come back. Like,
except Martinelli.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Even Martinelli, man, he could come back to haunt us. But yeah,
Nah,
Jess,
no,
what's your
no,
rating
no,
on
no.
Martial?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I was just going to give him a 1, like, you know, because, I mean, I could give him a 0, but I'll just give him a 1. But
People in the chat, is
air.
anyone giving Lacazette anything higher than a 1? There's a reason why he can't get into a France team. I get that. Gunnar
Yeah.
Express?
Yeah, 0. Grab. The main thing for me with Lacazette is, are we shocked? Again, like Jess said, if you actually thought he was going to score that, you need to watch more games of Lacazette. The commentator said it perfectly. It's harder to miss than it is to score because there was so much space open on that right side for him to slot it, and he's hit the bar.
I watched the Mexican commentary. I rewatched the Mexican commentary. They were laughing.
I was laughing.
That's all
funny.
I could hear.
It was funny, man, because it shows how much of a joke we are, man. It just shows how much of a joke we are. We're a clown. We're a football club full of clowns.
No,
Not
when
one
the
of
goal
them
went in,
is
when
good
the
enough.
goal went in at the end, I felt like, you know what? These guys are mugging us off. Because they're not trying. Once they scored, it's like they felt like they won the tie.
Some Arsenal fans I've spoken to, they switched the game off thinking we've won, and they put on the Ajax game, and they switched back and realised that it was a draw. They switched it off thinking we've won. It was that's how late that goal was. It was literally the last kick of the game. That's some FIFA thing, that conceding that late. It's not
that
football.
was some Olympiacos mess. It's happened before. Were you not there last season? Like, I don't understand why people are so confident. This is still there. Like, this team is like, it's embedded. Like, it's deep in the roots of this team. Like, until they call the final whistle, there's still a chance that we'll bottle it. Like, I'm not shocked. You know, I'm disappointed. You know, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, did we lose? Really?
Yeah, it's not shocking.
I'm not, you know.
Oh man, it's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, before we go, I'm just gonna let everyone know what we went with. We went with Leno 4.5, Bellerin 4, Gabriel 4, Holding 2, Cedric 0, Partey 2, Xhaka 4, Smith Rowe 4, Willian 0, Lacazette 3. No, I mean Willian had a 3. Was it Willian who had a 3?
Willian.
Yeah,
Willian had a 3. Lacazette had a 0, and then Saka had 4. Pepe had a 5. Aubameyang had a 4. Elneny and Ceballos had. Was it Ceballos who came on? Yeah, it was Ceballos.
Yeah,
they both had NAs, and then Martinelli had a 5. So from that honestly,
and Arteta gets a 1.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't rate Arteta's performances. It's just because I don't know why. I just never get time
No,
to.
but
Because
listen,
we usually
Lacazette
doing
puts
the
the
players
chance
for so
away.
long. If you guys were going to give a performance rating to Arteta,
Don't scapegoat Lacazette or Saka or any of these players. Let's just quickly look at it 1 second. The last 3 or 4 games now, the starting 11 has not been good enough to even draw a game. So that's down to the manager who picks them. Johnny,
Okay,
I
what's
watched
your
a stream
rating?
with Johnny. I watched a stream
gist.
with Johnny Egal, yeah. He doesn't, you can't, I understand it's individual errors, but we've made so many that you have to look at the bigger picture. It isn't just these players that aren't good enough. These players, they're
what's your
making
rating,
individual errors constantly. 1, not good enough. The only reason I don't give him a 0 is because of the missed chances. That's it. Otherwise, it'd have been a 0 because it was shocking. The fact that he threw his water bottle on the ground like a little kid at the end as well. Like, what? Come on, man.
Okay, I feel like obviously I'm not gonna give him a 1. I'm giving him a 5 because I feel like he set us up tactically perfectly to win the game.
Tactically, no, he did not. Because if you would have
we had the chances, we created the chances, we had the opportunity to score. The players did not finish their dinner.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Lacazette puts that chance away. If you give the manager gets a different rating.
Okay, I hear you.
Samuel, what's your rating? Put your hands up. I can't.
5.
Okay.
Because if Lacazette puts that chance away, Lacazette number 9. Lacazette puts that chance. No, he gets a 5.
Oh, for a second I thought he was giving you 9. I was like, what the hell?
Lacazette number 9, the striker.
Guys, we're doing sign language on the channel because I can't hear a thing he's saying.
Okay. I'll give him a 4. And that's about it.
Okay. Would you have given him lower if I didn't give a 5?
Yes.
Okay.
But I need time to explain it.
You would give him?
No. I would probably give him a 3. I think the tactics weren't right. It was very obvious that there was just space in behind, and the wanting to be so intricate and do things that let's just play Route 1 football and kick it over the top sometimes. Sometimes it's just that simple. And if you had Pepe on the left-hand side, probably would have been a lot better than having Willian. I get what you guys are saying about they need to make their chances and things like that, but there's also the substitutions that came too late. Hansi Flick and Pochettino, Klopp in the Champions League were subbing at the 30th, 40th, and 50th minute. Mm-hmm. Why does Arteta think it's okay to just sub at 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes? He needs to get that. Like, your tactics aren't working and they're not going to start working magically. So freaking sub. It was obvious, and it was obvious in the Liverpool game. It's always obvious, so I would give him a 3, Do
you think his ego though, Jess? Because I think he's egotistical when it comes to the substitutions. I think he struggles to admit that he's wrong. So
I think
he doesn't
hubris.
Change it.
I think it's hubris, and I think it's job security as well. I think when you know that you're not going to get fired and there's, you're kind of just there and you're going to get another window, you do things that you probably wouldn't do if your job was on the line. So I think it's a combination of the two, being overconfident or arrogant and knowing that his job is not really on the line. But I think a little bit of humility would do him a world of good. You'd have Saliba on the team instead of Holding,
Randuzi as well.
Yeah, you might have some different types of players in there. This is like a whole other thing that we could really go on for hours and hours about. We don't have time for it, but
we don't have time. Yeah. We're ending the video now. Thank you, Samuel, for coming on. Thank you, Gunnar Express, for coming on. Guys, go check out Gunnar Express's channel. All you have to type is the Gunnar Express on YouTube. You'll find it. And also, Jess, you have your own channel. She knows what is it? She knows
Arsenal.
Yeah, literally, she knows Arsenal. She does definitely know Arsenal. She knows her football.
Yeah,
she's 100%. Better. She's more articulate than I am about football. I'll tell you that much, right? And yeah. Hey, and I'm not the most articulate in general, so that's not a big compliment anyways. But yeah, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here, and thank you, Jess. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Gunnar Express, for coming on, and big up to everybody in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and guys, don't forget to subscribe to their channels. These two are big coming up in the Arsenal game, and honestly, thank you guys for giving me an hour of your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Agal.